right. Well, we had a little technical difficulties this morning, but that's okay because today is a really important idea I wanted to help you guys with. So, welcome to Millionaire Brand Creation, where we are going to teach you how to curate and take your brand to the next level. I'm going to talk today about the subtleties in your wardrobe choices, right? And what most people don't realize is there's a huge background when it comes to clothing, when it comes to perception, when it comes to the psychology of all of this. I'm going to introduce you guys to an article. And then later on in the session, I'm going to teach you how to create your own success uniform, because I think that at the bottom line is what matters most to you guys. How do you create a uniform that best embodies you, that best curates your success, and that tells everyone around you like you are going places, you are someone on the rise, someone that they need to know. So this finding came out about a year ago, and the title of the article is "Studies Find Strangers Know Your Social Class in Milliseconds Based on Clothing Alone." So we'll go into the article, we'll talk about it. And what's interesting about the article is everyone knows that impressions obviously are important, right? But what they don't realize is that according to science, what your first impression is in the form of your attire becomes even more important as you're curating your brand, as you become more successful. So according to a study by the Nature of Human Behavior conducted by Princeton University, in a matter of milliseconds, people take in subtle economic cues to survey a subject's degree of competence. So your impressions of competence from your face predict real-world outcomes of your success. And they did this, interestingly enough, through clothing, right? So they dressed people up, guys and girls, into certain clothes, and they did a study, and without knowing any of this stuff, they started picking people that were better dressed to be more competent in their jobs. And I want you guys to really think about this as you curate your wardrobe, as we go into the history of wardrobe, why it's really important to start dressing for success, right? In your success uniform, we're going to lay out 4 concepts that will really change the trajectory of your life from here on out. So, the history of clothing. Why did clothing become about? Why is it important? Well, if we date back, clothes started actually about 170,000 years ago. And we know that because that's when lice actually came about because of, clothing, etc. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Lisa. Hope you guys are doing well. And as you go through the structure of the clothing, anthropologists saw an evolution of, animal skins, vegetation. People were using clothes, obviously, to cover themselves from the elements. But what happened as we move forward in history is once natural materials were formed and discovered, clothing became societal markers. And as we move forward into the 21st century, it's becoming even more prominent, and it's cues that we don't even think about, but our mind thinks about, right? So wool actually was invented in the 6th and 7th century BC. Silk was invented in India in 400 AD. Cotton, 3000 BC. And in 13th century Europe, there was a huge shift in the affiliation of class based on clothing adornment. And that's how we adopted it in the United States and in other countries where our uniforms became markers, right? They became markers of our success. They became markers of our professionalism. They became markers of our, who we were in society, etc. And dress becomes a differentiator, whether we like it or not, of one's economic status, their social power, their moral standards, and also it shows through the psychology different class differentiations, right? Now, they actually implemented a law in the Middle Ages in Europe where they called it a sumptuary law. And the law was basically that certain people dressed a certain way were treated differently in society. Well, you've probably heard of Karl Marx. You've heard of a lot of different societal norms that changed. And what happened was, obviously, the lower class structure of Europe, revolted and said, this is ridiculous. And it became a no person law, meaning it didn't matter anymore how you were dressed, etc. But these things carried on in generations, right? If you look at China, the emperor of China was the only person allowed to wear yellow. They were the only person allowed to wear a royal color, right? In Africa, you look at African society, they wore turbans, they wore a lot of adornment because they wanted themselves to be larger so people perceived them as more powerful. Now, Karl Marx, who was a philosopher and activist, understood the difference between class structure, and a sociologist named Max Weber also understood that people judge us based on simple things, right? They judge us based on perception. They judge us based on the way we talk, the way we look, the way we interact with people. They judge us based on different cues and etc. And what I want to talk to you guys today is that clothes matter. And they matter because they cover 90% of our bodies, right? And they cover 90% of our bodies. And so when we're going out in the workplace and we're recruiting agents, we're looking to be better ourselves. Hey, Marta, how are you? We need to look as professional as possible, right? And I think you all would agree, but the societal dynamics of clothes become even more interesting in the 1960s. So before the 1960s and before the Industrial Revolution in the late 1800s, clothes were really expensive, right? To buy a beautiful dress, to buy a beautiful gown, to buy a beautiful suit, a tuxedo, they were one-off pieces, right? They weren't made in bulk. But what happened is, in the 1960s, the fashion industry began to produce pieces that were more fashionably forward and less expensive to the masses. So what happened? Well, what happened is the display of one's social class and one's success became more subtle, right? It became more eclectic. It became less descriptive, right? So the title of this class, and the reason I'm really glad you guys are on here, is this is the importance of subtleties in your wardrobe. And the whole class is based on building your success uniform. So if you have your notes out, I really highly encourage you to take this down because this is super duper important for you guys, right? Your success uniform consists of the following. Number one, you must have perfectly cut and fitted garments. How many of you in the comments section, raise your hand, go into a store and you might buy something that doesn't fit you perfectly. Maybe the material isn't the best. Maybe you're buying something off the rack, etc. But you're not focusing on cut and fitted garments. Type in the comment section below if that could be you. Because that was me actually in my early 20s. I didn't really understand why fit and finish made a difference. But it made a difference because people started to judge me based on my professionalism and my garment fit and finish. So that's number one. Number two, I want you to only use natural fibers in your clothing. Cotton, wool, silk, cashmere. The only exception is workout clothing. Me, I'm 5 foot tall, so it's difficult. So Marta, type in the comment section. I'm curious, how do you actually go about getting your clothes? Do you buy them off the rack? Do you have a clothier make them for you? How do you go about making your decisions when personally buying clothes? And you got to think about this, guys. Clothes are a representation of us, right? And whether we like it or not, everyone is making millisecond judgments based on the way we look, right? All this stuff is curated. So if you're buying something, you found a seamstress. Yeah, that's a great idea. So Marta in the comments section. Yep, that's interesting. Yeah, Lisa, that's interesting. So Marta says, she buys stuff off the rack and then she finds a seamstress to fit her clothing, which I'm all for. I think that's a great idea. Lisa says the only clothes that I get cheap are workout clothes, and even then it's because they're on clearance, right? So I want you to think differently about this altogether. I don't want you to look at clothing as at a cost thing. I want you to look at them as the extension of your personality and an extension of your professionalism. You cannot follow the leader when it comes to clothing. You can't follow people that are your neighbors that are poorly dressed and all those things. I want you to follow a concept called follow the stars. This is what I teach a lot of my clients, right? So take a celebrity, take someone that you see like in the magazines, etc., that you feel is really well dressed, right? And also take a person that may have a similar body type to you. Guy, gal, doesn't matter. And start really taking notes about how they dress. The first way I did that was I actually started looking at People magazine. They come out with like 50 of the most beautiful people in the world. How many of you have actually seen that magazine? And I started taking cues of what they deem to be attractive, right? What society deemed to be the most attractive people. And you start looking at their clothes. You may not have their body. You may not have exactly what they have, the celebrity, etc. But you can start looking and emulating their clothing choices, right? So the first thing, perfectly cut and fitted garments. The second thing, only buy natural fabrics if you can. And the third thing is what is most important, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. I cannot stress this enough. If you want to get into luxury real estate, if you want to get into the high end, I know Patrick called me last week or a couple weeks ago and said, how do I procure higher end listings? These are the things the super wealthy look at. And this is the number 3 thing. Accessories are the key. And they're the subtle differences between someone who is truly fashion forward and successful versus someone who is trying to emulate success and doesn't know what they're doing. Now, what are accessories that people judge on, right? You don't need a lot of them. You don't want a lot of them. You want a few of them, but you want them to be heirloom family pieces that you can hand down to future generations. Maybe your daughter, maybe your son, maybe your grandchildren, right? And then when you think of it like that, you're not thinking so much about price. You're thinking about utility, right? You're thinking about how often am I going to wear these things? The first of those subtle key accessories is your watch. I know a lot of women don't wear watches. I know a lot of men love watches, but I mentioned this before. And the reason watches are indicators of success is because for men in professionalism, they are going to look at as a conversational piece, right? They are going to look at your timepiece as a woman or as a man, and they are going to judge you based on the exclusivity, right? The commonality of that person, and also what is it about that piece that represents your personality, right? And if you understand the watch world, they have what they call the 3 horsemen, right? The 3 horsemen of the watch world are Rolex, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet. Now, these timepieces are ridiculously expensive, right? I mean, these watches in the Rolex department start from $10,000. You get into the Pateks, you get into the Audemars Piguet. You're looking at several $100,000. And you're saying to yourself, why would I ever spend that much money on a piece, right? Because what you're doing is you're not buying it because of the expense. You're buying it as an extension of your brand and of your personality, right? This is a timepiece. This is something that you will give to your daughter. Your daughter will give to their granddaughter. And these pieces will last 100, 200, 300, 400 years from now. And if they were extremely in demand and in vogue today, and they have been around, a lot of these watchmakers have been around 200, 300 years, they will do so 200, 300, 400 years from now. But the problem is, and what most people don't realize, this is a common mistake that I see a lot of agents make and a lot of people in business. If watches aren't your thing, if those accessories aren't your thing, then don't wear anything. instead of wearing something inexpensive that's trying to look expensive, something that's cheap, or something that's fake, right? You want to avoid that at all costs. So if you want to learn more about those, type in the comments section below. Matt will help you. I will help you. I'd be happy to point you in the right direction in that respect. So that's one thing the true upper class of society is looking at as a subtlety. The second thing are shoes. And then I was having this conversation with a client a long time ago in regards to buying shoes. So this young guy was 31 years old, and I told him, I said, you got to get a really nice pair of dress shoes that you'll have for the next 10, 20, 30 years. He said, okay, let's just go to Payless, or how many of you shopped at Payless? How many of you shopped at discount stores and wanted to buy shoes that were $30, $40, $50, $100, right? Raise your hand. I've done it before in my 20s. And I said, no. We're going to take you into Ferragamo. We're going to take you into Gucci. We're going to take you into a true, shoe brand that makes shoes that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And we ended up having him purchase a $900 pair of Ferragamo shoes. Now, many of you would think to yourself, why would you waste that much money on something that's an adornment, right? That's something that's shoes. Because again, people on the high end, people you're wanting to earn business from, are looking at these subtleties. And what most people don't realize is you can resole very expensive shoes for $80, $90, $100 every 2 or 3 years, and you're going to have those shoes for the rest of your life. And I promise you, that's another subtlety that makes you stand out from the rest. When I go into a room, when I'm talking to a gentleman or a lady and I see their shoes and they're scuffed, they're unpolished, they're inexpensive, they're not in the latest fashion design, immediately I discount their credibility and their professionalism. Don't fall in that trap. Don't look at it as a monetary expense. Look at it as an extension of your brand and of your marketing. Okay? The third thing, which most people don't realize is also important for both men and women, are sunglasses. So if you've seen a lot of my photos, you've seen me in only 1 or 2 pairs of sunglasses, right? They're conversational pieces. My ex-girlfriend, she used to wear the same sunglasses over and over and over because they were conversation starters for her and other women in the real estate business. I wear a pair of Chrome Heart sunglasses, which are discontinued. They don't even make them anymore. And they were exceedingly expensive. But why do I do it? I do it because it's a conversational starter, right? I do it because anyone that's in the know, anyone that appreciates jewelry or something very unique will know what they are, right? And so make it a point to distinguish yourself on these subtle things. Buy a nice pair of sunglasses. Buy something that will last you 5, 10, 15 years. Don't go to a secondary rack store and buy something for $20, $30, $40 because you're going to throw them away, lose them, etc. You're not going to lose a pair of sunglasses that you spent $400 or $500 for. I promise you that, because they're going to be an extension of you and your jewelry. For women, the other big thing that I think women understand, you ladies on here, I love and appreciate you, and I know you love your handbags and your shoes. Raise your hand if you understand why certain handbags are investments. I know a lot of you do, right? And the truth is, similar to men and watches, there are female handbags that stand the test of time that will continually go up in value, right? One of the most wardrobe key pieces for women is a great Chanel handbag, medium size, black, something that you will purchase and something that you will have for the rest of your life. You'll give it to your daughter, they'll give it to their granddaughter. And again, like a great pair of shoes, you can go in and refurbish those things, right? Chanel will take care of you. They'll, make sure that it's well kept, etc. Another one, Hermes Kelly bag, Hermes Birkin bag. Now, these bags are not inexpensive, right? Like these watches, these handbags are several $1,000s. And you're thinking to yourself, why would I waste that much money on an adornment piece that doesn't make sense, right? And I'm telling you guys, I'm just telling you, these are your biggest brand indicators. If you want to jump into the luxury market, if you want to start selling multi-million-dollar houses, if you want to start upping your income strata, you must, this isn't even like a question, you must start to live and dress like the people you are trying to attract. So I'm going to say that again. You must start living and dressing like the people you are trying to attract. That is a big takeaway I want you guys to understand. And I understand, these pieces are expensive. I understand it might take you 4, 5, 6 years to save up to buy, a piece like this. But I'm telling you, not only will these right pieces go up in value, but more importantly, it's going to help you earn more money because you are going to attract a higher level client. Here's an example. How many of you have issues with your buyers and sellers if you're a real estate agent when you're in that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 marketplace? Pop in the like section or pop in the comment. They're arguing over $100 or $200 with you. They're wanting you to discount your commission, right? They're wanting you to pay for some of their closing costs. They're arguing over something so insignificant to get a deal done where you're only making 2.5%. How many of you have been in that situation, right? When you start raising the caliber of your brand and you start raising the caliber of the people you're attracting in your life because of those adornment pieces, you will no longer have those same type of issues. They say different levels bring different devils. What happens is now you're not arguing over $100, $200. You are now arguing over thousands, $10,000s of dollars, right? But you will attract a different level of client, and in turn, you will make more money, right? That's the key to the game. So those accessory pieces, watches, shoes, sunglasses, women, invest in a beautiful handbag. And black is the safest bet, right? Now, and I want you to do some investigation and some homework because these things are not a waste of money. They are not a waste of money. Jana, Lisa, and I grew up in San Francisco and worked at Saks and Macy's and Union Square. No, that's awesome. So you guys understand the complexities of adornment and high fashion, right? It's not about showing off. It's not about showing other people that you've arrived. It's not about showing people that you have the latest and greatest new gadget. It's about really understanding your brand and understanding the people that you're trying to attract in your life and having those pieces that they themselves have, so you're creating commonality and conversation, right? People want to be around people that are like them. They want to be around people that are congruent to them. They want to be around people that are dressed like them. They want to be around people that have the same purses as them. They want to be around the same people that have the same watches as them, right? We want likeness. We want to attract likeness. And I want you to start thinking about these are marketing dollars that you're going to spend for yourself that you and your family and your future generations are going to really get a lot from. So I want you to buy less pieces. A lot of people are guilty of going shopping, right? How many of you girls and some guys have shopping therapy and you guys go out and you buy a bunch of really inexpensive things, right? It makes you feel good in the moment, but then you go home and you say to yourself, wow, this really wasn't productive. I have a bunch of things that are worthless, and in a year or 2 years, they're sitting in your closet. You never wear them again, right? It doesn't give you value. So buy less and start investigating, doing your homework, and really starting to understand those pieces that become legacy pieces that you can pass on to your children, to their grandchildren, etc. Lisa, also people at the income social level that you're speaking of would never think to get anything cheap. That is true. There are certain things that don't really matter, like socks, for instance, like t-shirts, like all of these things. But the adornment pieces, those are the subtlety pieces that are, I'm telling you guys, people judge us on. We're all guilty of it, right? People are judging us on our shoes. People are judging us on our purses, on our watches, on our belts, on our wallets, as Lisa said, on just simple things that you think are so minute. And I promise you, they are not. They are not. So the first is perfectly cut and fitted garments. And if you have a specific size, Like Marta, I believe she mentioned, it's okay to buy things off the rack. You don't need to spend a lot of money, but you want to make sure that they're fitted. So take them to a tailor and make sure they are, number 2, natural fabric, cotton, wools, silks, cashmeres. Avoid polyester, avoid spandex, unless they are a workout outfit that you're using to work out. And even then, why do you think Lululemon has become so successful? Why do you think Alo has become so successful? Because if you're looking in society today, certain workout outfits are now markers of success, right? There are a lot of really good looking workout outfits for both men and women. And those that are taking that and implementing it into their marketing, especially social media, are capitalizing on that look, right? So fitted garments, number 2, natural fibers. Number 3, your accessories are the key to your settle success. This is what your clients and other people are judging you on. Number 4, this is a big one, personal hygiene. So when you're creating your success uniform, you really have to really love your body and love your personal hygiene. What does that entail? Be well groomed, shower, it's simple stuff. Get haircuts more often so you are more, well groomed, right? Another thing that society puts a lot of importance on, and I didn't even know it until I had the same problem, is really good teeth, right? White teeth, a bright smile, an inviting smile, and all these things can be fixed. For me, I grew up, I had braces, I had smaller teeth. They didn't really fit my facial frame. And I didn't smile that much, right? I wasn't very inviting. Maybe you were in this situation too. Maybe you didn't know any better growing up. Maybe you were born like me with a genetic bad stick when it came to my teeth. And then when I was about 25 years old, my mom told me, she says, you really should invest in veneers and really making your smile perfect, because you're going to smile more and you're going to get more business. And I fought her. I said, oh, that's ridiculous. I don't need new teeth, da-da-da-da-da. And it was the best investment I ever made. I wish I did it earlier, because what happened was I spent $12,000 more on my mouth, which is an exorbitant amount of money. I had confidence in myself. I was able to smile. I became more professional. I became more happy because I wanted to smile in pictures more. And it's these little subtleties, that create the difference, right? It created a difference in your demeanor. So invest in yourself, guys. Invest in your teeth. Invest in your hygiene. And last but not least, the elephant in the room. One of the things that I really preach is no matter what your body type is, no matter where you are today, you can go that extra distance tomorrow. And health is one of the most important things in your life. I know Lisa's listening in, and she's doing a great job documenting her health journey on a daily basis. I'm trying to do the same. Mike Hill, Nick, so many of you are doing that. And I can't tell you how important in our society health has become, right? It's a marker that will create conversational threads with you and your clients. It's something that people respect. And whether we like it or not, if you look at societal norms and what has happened in the 21st century, being slender and being in good health really equates to success, right? Because people want to be around healthy people, healthy body, healthy spirit, healthy mind. And so regardless of where you are today, as far as weight or as far as physical confidence or as far as any of those things, right? We can be in a better place tomorrow. And if you need help doing that, I highly recommend reaching out to a nutritionist, working out more. If you want to join our workout group, you're more than welcome to. And Lisa, type in the comment section, how much has this helped you build your confidence, right? How much has this helped you create more business for yourself and help in your recruitment, right? I think it's important people know this because it really starts transforming your life in a big way. You got to have personal health implications and start tracking that on a daily basis. So that's kind of where I want this to go, right? I want you guys to understand that your success uniform is starting to figure out and working backwards where you want to go in your life. I know all of you want to be financially successful. I know all of you want more business. I know all of you want a healthier family life and to be in better health and physically alluring. But the truth is, we're all magnets. We're either bringing more people into our life or we are repelling them. And it's these simple decisions that we're making on a daily basis that's really curating that in our life, right? And this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years, right? It happens over years of us doing certain things, years of us neglecting certain things, right? Lisa, yeah, I can't even describe how the accountability in the bar classes have given me confidence and a constant smile. Absolutely. And Jana, I like your little handbag emoji, right? All these things are important. We want you to have self-confidence in yourself. We want you to be a radiation of great things, of great magnetism. We want you to have a great personality. Feel confident in who you are. And whether we like it or not, the optionality that we create in our lives has a lot to do with the confidence that we have in ourselves. And all these things, as cliche and as hokey as they are, look at anyone that you admire in life, anyone that you admire, any leader, anyone who's financially independent, anyone who's really risen to that next level. And I guarantee you, whether they know it or not, they are implementing a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, right? And I didn't even know a lot of this. I mean, I was in a situation in my life growing up where I was just totally on my own. Maybe you can relate to this. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't even know who to really look up to and what to wear and how to do it and all of these things. And you're kind of lost in the noise, right? How many of you are in that situation, right? You don't have someone to look up to and say, okay, this is the playbook. Let's run this play. And what I realized, which was a blessing in my life, was at a young age, my mom dressed me to be the man that she wanted to attract in her life, right? She dressed me in sport coats. She dressed me in suits. She dressed me in white and black shirts. And those things were just ingrained in my mind. And as you become an adult, those things that we learn as children become ingrained in our minds too. But I want you to break out of the thought process of, this is what happened in my childhood. This is who I am. I want you to think about who can you become, right? Who is it that you want to become? What are some of the things that you can implement today as far as your wardrobe, which is a very simple change? I mean, go to Millionaire Date Doctor and you will see massive transformations in my clients, because the first thing people judge us on is the subtleties of our wardrobe. The subtleties of our wardrobe. That's manifested in our pictures. That's manifested in our marketing content. That's manifested in everything that we do. And whether we like it or not, people are judging us all the time, right? How do we deal with those judgments? Are those judgments helping us propel us forward into more circles? Are they helping us meet more people, right? And if they're not, we're doing something wrong. There's power in the community and power in the collective. Marta, I hired a medically certified personal trainer to get me back on track, no pun intended. That's fantastic. My mom's boyfriend, very successful guy in the corporate world, he's about 40 pounds overweight, and he's in his early 60s. Very wealthy guy. And I'll tell you what's interesting is him being 40 pounds overweight is affecting his life, not just monetarily, because a lot of his business colleagues look at him as domineering. They look at him as too overly abrasive, right? They look at him as kind of a know-it-all type personality, but it's affecting his health, right? You're at higher risk of diabetes. You're at higher risk of dying early. You're at higher risk of medical problems. You're at higher risk of all these things, right? You have mood swings. You have depression. You have all of these things that we need to avoid. Jana, I found that the one larger investment lasts. Cheap stuff falls apart. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And, girls have a really good eye when it comes to fashion a lot of the time. You guys understand the purchase of quality pieces. I remember when I was younger, I was driving down the Pacific Coast Highway with my mom, and she got a phone call, and she started crying. I said, what is this? She says, oh my God, Paris called me and they said, they have a black Birkin bag that they have that I can buy. Now, if you guys know purses, I mean, I'm not into purses, I'm a guy, but I know gals that love certain things, right? You girls love nice purses, nice shoes, etc. But getting a black Birkin bag is like the holy grail for a lot of these women, right? It's something that is a piece that you'll pass on to your daughters, your granddaughters, etc. And a black one is very, very, very hard to get. And what's crazy is, I think at the time, she spent like $10,000 on this handbag. And you're saying to yourself, what a waste of money. How stupid. That's what I was thinking. And fast forward 10 years later, I think I was looking up the same bag and it was worth like $22,000 or something crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I was the clown in that situation. I didn't know any better. Because what she taught me, which I'm trying to instill in you guys, is when you focus on quality, when you focus on buying legacy pieces, when you focus on buying things that you're not only going to enjoy for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but you're also proud enough of it to pass it on to your children or your grandchildren, that's the type of pieces that you want to buy, right? Those are the type of pieces that represent your marketing, that represent your legacy. And those are the type of pieces that are going to really start blowing out your business, because it's the subtleties in those pieces that people are going to say, wow, Jana, Lisa, Patrick, Marta, you gals really have an understanding of quality, right? It's a reflection of your brand. You really have an understanding of timelessness. You really have an understanding of professionalism. That's the type of agent I want to work with. That's the type of person I want to be around, right? And so, again, I hope this is resonating with you guys. I mean, it's kind of off the cuff, but I've really started to see that in the societal circles that I'm running in. You know, the wealthier people and what they're trying to accomplish, you see it in real subtle things. It's things that a common person would never even look at, right? You know, maybe it's a ring, maybe it's a watch, maybe it's a pair of sunglasses, maybe it's a belt, maybe it's a purse. Maybe it's something so insignificant that, you know, a cufflink or something that most people wouldn't see and appreciate. But those that understand it look at it and go, oh, that person's like me. I want to do business with that person. And that's kind of why I want to get you guys into that circle. Yeah, off the cuff, exactly. Yep, Grace Kelly is a great example of someone who has timeless elegance. So going back to following the stars, right? A lot of you guys and gals, go back to the 50s. Go back to the 60s. A lot of the stuff they were wearing at that time is still in vogue today, right? It's still in demand today. That black dress, right? As a beautiful black suit for men, a beautiful white crisp shirt for men and for women, a beautiful black shirt, right? Black and white t-shirts, nice pair of jeans. They were wearing all that stuff in the 50s and 60s. It hasn't changed. It's just been more evolutionized through society and et cetera, and what we deem to be appropriate and attractive. But if I'm here to help you guys, you know, I'm here to help you grow your businesses. If there's anything that I can do to, you know, assist you on that playing field, you know, let me know. Is there anything that you guys want to hear about in the comment section? Jana, Lisa, Marta, Mike, Patrick, any of you guys want to know something while you have me live, now's the time. Yep, pearls. So pearls is an interesting one. Pearls are legacy pieces. I think it's nice to have a nice pair of pearls you can pass down to your daughter and granddaughter. But make it real simple. You know, a single strand is great. It doesn't have to be really large or anything like that. And pearls, unfortunately, can be easily faked. You know, so what you're seeing now in a lot of magazines and high fashion, you're not seeing a lot of pearls as much. You're seeing less adornment and more focus on quality. So that's an interesting question, Lisa. Anyone else have any questions? Jana, you have any questions? Marta? Patrick? Mike? Another thing too, that I think is really important is focusing on legacy colors. So seeing a lot of your guys' photos and seeing what you guys wear, You want to focus on solids. You know, a lot of people, I know I was having a kind of an argument this morning with the girl I'm seeing about floral, right? About patterns, about things like that, right? If you look at black tie affairs, if you look at Oscars, if you look in the magazines in high fashion, very rarely do they have a lot of patterns, right? A lot of the best dressed people are usually wearing solids. And the colors that you'll never get away from that will always look best on your body, depending on type. Number one is black, because it thins, right? It makes you look svelte. Doesn't matter your body type. Black always looks the best. The second is white, different variations of white, right? Absolutely. Staple pieces and solid colors. I agree with you, Marta. The third is blue. Blue is always a color. You want to avoid navy, but lighter blues, royal blues, different variations of blues are always a welcoming and powerful color. And last but not least, if you want a real powerful pop of color, you can implement aspects of red, right? But red, do that sparingly, because red is a sexual color, right? It elicits sexual activity, and so you got to be careful about that. But if you stick to blacks, whites, blues, some variation of red, and if you want pops of color, do that in the accessories, right? Do that in your shoes. Maybe do that in a cuff. Maybe do that in something that best suits your personality, etc. But stick to those things. Avoid patterns. I'm telling you guys, avoid patterns. Yellows, pinks, all those things wash out your skin color, right? They don't look as professional. They don't look as stately. And so as much as I love pink, because I do love pink, I don't wear it that often anymore, because unless I'm tan, it washes out my color and my photos don't turn out the best. Any other questions, guys? Is this useful? Hopefully this is helpful to you guys, because again, I know it's me just spewing all this information out, but hopefully it's resonating with you, because it's really important. I can't stress how important it is. Awesome. Well, I'm always here if you guys need help. Today was a day where I wanted to talk about how the subtleties of your brand are implemented and how you are as an outside world, right? What you wear matters. How you present yourself matters, right? How you speak matters. All of these things, once you start curating them at a higher level and making them part of your life, life will get easier for you guys. I'm telling you, you're going to get more business. The more professional that you dress, the more people are attracted to you. The more people that are attracted to you, the easier it is to recruit. The easier it is to recruit, the more business you're going to have, right? It's a domino effect in your life, period. This is one of my favorite topics. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad, Lisa. I'm glad you really enjoy it. What is the most important color jacket to have if you're going to buy your first expensive one? That's a good question. I think that was by Matt Culhane. The best color to go with for your first jacket is, for men and women, the first one that you want to buy is you want to buy a fitted black suit. And the reason you want to buy a fitted black suit, it is the most versatile of all fancy stuff, right? A fitted black suit. I go to Suit Supply for men and for women. I have a great clothier who will make you a custom fit suit. She will send it to you, and it's not that expensive. You can go to Hugo Boss, buy it off the rack, but invest in a great fitted black suit. And the reason you want a fitted black suit, to go into more detail, is you can take the jacket and you can wear it with jeans. You can wear it with a white shirt. You can wear it with a black shirt. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. And with a black suit and pants, as a woman, you can wear it with a white shirt. You can wear it with a blouse. You can wear it with royal blue. You can wear it with all these things. So it's a very versatile piece. So that's what I would recommend most. Fitted black suit. Marta, pinks and burgundies look better on me due to tan, icon and olive undertones. Well, here's a question, Marta. Do you ever wear black, right? Do you ever get a spray tan? Do you ever get your teeth whitened, right? All of these questions absolutely will implement what colors look best on you. But look at CEO women. Look at women that are extremely high earners. Look at women in the professional field and look at what they're wearing. And if you see a woman that you emulate, that you really like, that are wearing pinks and burgundies, then stick to it if you feel that looks best to you. But overall, black is the safest, most professional, most timeless color you can wear. That's why you see me wearing black almost all the time. That's what I'd recommend. Brennan, my friend, do you have any questions for men? Because this is a big one, right? Jana, navy blue versus black. I've heard navy is a color of wealth. Okay, that's a good question. So black is by far the most versatile color. I love black over navy. If you're going to buy your first suit or first sport coat or for a gal, the first dress, you definitely want to buy black over navy. Navy for men is a professional color when it comes to business, right? So a lot of, like I have a blue suit, I have a light blue suit, and I have a pinstripe blue navy suit. But you only wear navy in a city-based environment, a colder-based environment, and an environment that's conducive to business, right? It's like banking almost. But black is versatile in all those things. So I would definitely pick black over navy any of those days. Black is my go-to when I was in banking. Absolutely. Black is the most versatile color you can ever wear. I accessorize with color, pops of color, and vintage jewelry. That's absolutely great. Good job. Yeah, black is the easiest go-to. Whenever you're in doubt, go to black. Because I'll tell you, everyone looks their best in black, right? And for girls, here's another thing that just popped into my mind. Whether you're a guy or a gal, how many of you are under 6 feet? Pop in the comment section. If you're under 6 feet tall, or you're a gal under 5'4", type in the comment section or like in the comments reaction so I know that you're paying attention. So they've done studies on this. Guys under 6 feet, listen up. This is a real good one. So anyone under 6 feet, a lot of guys out there are under 6 feet, right? You must grow your height and extend your size and your presence, right? People want to feel safe. A woman wants to feel safe around you. She wants to feel that you're the man. The easiest way a guy can add 1 or 2 inches flawlessly in a city environment is buy a pair of cowboy boots. That will give you a 1 to 2 inch height advantage. You can wear a pair of black cowboy boots. I always buy like black lizard. And you can wear that with jeans. You can wear that with your black suit. You can wear that with a lot of things. And if you look at any of my clients, they're wearing black lizard cowboy boots all the time because it's giving them an extra couple inches. It's getting them close to 6 feet, and it makes them look, more professional, and it makes them stand out. It's a real masculine look. Now for you gals, Marta, 4'11 and a half, you are a giant. I love that. At 4'11 and a half, women, any of you under 5'7" or under 5'8", in a professional matter, they actually did a study on this, okay? Now, they did a study on men looking back and looking and looking at women and looking at their professionalism. And the higher the stiletto, especially for women, the more they wanted to do business with them. I will say that again. The higher the stiletto, especially in women who are under 5'7", the more they wanted to do business with them. I know it sounds sexist. I know it sounds weird, but I'm just telling you the facts. And so a lot of you gals, you love to wear flats, you love to wear wedges, you love to wear all these comfortable things, but I'm telling you, back to the subtlety of your shoe game. Really have a nice pair of black pumps, of black stilettos, and get height. Get height. Marta, you could probably get to 5'3", 5'4" in a great pair of black stilettos. And with your beautiful, black look, I'm telling you, you're going to stand out. I spent a lifetime in 3-inch heels. Yeah. And it helped you professionally, right? It's hard to show property. Yes, it is. So one way to do that is, when you're not with clients, you can wear flats. When you're not being seen, when you're not getting photographed, you can wear flats. But as soon as You're in front of your clients, you're doing a presentation, you're showing a house, you need to be in those stilettos and looking good. And guys, it's the same thing. If you're shorter, which a lot of guys are, wear those cowboy boots. I'm telling you guys, doesn't matter if you're in Texas, doesn't matter if you're a cowboy or not. It's masculine, it's sexy. You're going to look way cooler than all the other guys in there, and you're going to gain a couple of inches and start standing out. Jana, I work between construction sites and listing presentations. A success uniform sounds like something I could keep in a box in my trunk. Boots to pumps daily. Yeah, it's a great idea. So absolutely. It doesn't hurt to have these simple pieces in the trunk of your car just to have, right? In case you have a listing presentation, in case you have something off the cuff where you need to dress up, in case you're in front of the camera. You want to look your best, right? These pieces, these adornments are a representative of your brand. They are an extension of you. I think we had a few more questions, Matt. Is there a way to scroll up here? How do I do that?
That's it.
No, go up. There was Brennan. I have boxy t-shirts. I need to move away from that. Yeah, so again, guys and gals, right? Your leisure wear is also important. So this is something that I was really weak in, right? I didn't understand, like when I was working out or when I was wearing a pair of jeans or something like that, you need to keep it real basic. The boxy shirts, the unfitted shirts, those things that are just make you look bigger than you truly are, get away from. The top part of your torso, you want to wear fitted clothing, fitted dress shirts, fitted t-shirt, simple black t-shirt. White t-shirts are tough only because they're easily stained and discolored. So that's why I stick to black, deep gray. You gals can wear a lot of different colors, especially in the workout gear, because your guys' workout gear looks way better than guys for sure. But you want to stick to fitted clothing. I cannot stress that enough. And if you are in a situation where, weight is an issue and you want to start, getting into nutritionists and start making sure that you're slimming down like Marta and Lisa and so many people are doing, like, join us in our health journey. We're documented daily and I'm trying to lose a little weight and I'm trying to, create a better health thing. But it's not just about looks, right? It's about creating a better, healthier life for you and your family. And when you're in better health, you're a better magnet, right? You're better at attracting people into your life. So I think we're at the top of the hour. That went by quickly. And I just want to thank you guys, Marta, Lisa, Matt, Patrick, Mike, Brennan, all you guys for jumping on. Hopefully this was educational. It wasn't too boring. And again, focus on your success uniform. As Janice said, put it in the trunk of your car. And to reflect back on those 4 things, number 1 is make sure you have perfectly cut and fitted garments. You could buy stuff off the rack, but get it fitted to your body, right? Number 2, try to stick to natural fibers: cotton, wool, silk, cashmere. Number 3, accessories are important. Buy things that you guys will have 10, 15, 20 years from now. Don't buy things because they're cheap. Buy things that are legacy pieces that you will want to give to your daughter, to your son, to your grandchildren. And last but not least, personal hygiene. Make it a point to be clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Make sure you're a magnet for people and go out there and create your own $1 million brand. So hope you guys have a wonderful week. And we'll talk to you guys soon. If you want to reach out, you have more questions, DM me on Instagram at michaelbanovac.com. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful week. Bye.